Good afternoon and welcome to WEFM's 3 p.m. news. I am your presenter, Rajiv Providence. First, on the local scene, Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves has met with officials of the Kuwaiti Fund and the OPEC Fund for International Development to rectify issues related to delays on Phase 1 and 2 of the National Agriculture and Feeder Roads project. The meeting included Sheikh Abdullah Al Sabah of Kuwait Dynamic Limited (KDL) and Acting Director General of the Kuwait Fund Walid Al Baha. Speaking after the recent meeting in Cabinet Room, Dr. Gonzalez said the project started since 2019 and the roads should have already been completed, but there have been many delays and attendant issues concerning the completion of these works. The Prime Minister said he had written the Kuwaiti Fund so there could be some urgency for completion of the project, and this second meeting is the result. We hear more from Prime Minister Gonzalez.
I had written a letter to the Kuwaiti Fund, as I had reported to Parliament, making the representation for some urgency to be addressed to this matter with the contractors and, of course, the subcontractors. And as a consequence of that letter, there was an engagement between our dear brother, the Acting Director General of the Kuwaiti Fund, in the meeting in April, May in Washington, World Bank, IMF, Camilo, and our dear brother, the Acting Director General of the Kuwaiti Fund, who also is on the board of the OPEC Fund for International Development. They met, and as a consequence of that meeting, this broad meeting was organized.
That was the Prime Minister, Dr. Ralph Gonzalez. A memorandum of understanding was drawn up, which includes the establishment of a committee comprising the government, the Kuwaiti Fund, OPEC Fund, the supervising engineer, a consultant, and the contractor, which will provide assistance and monitor work of the main contractor. An agreement for settlement of all financial claims from the subcontractors by the contractor KDL was also done. On August 2, 2024, Carla Henry, a 36-year-old Mason from Mesopotamia, was arrested and charged with predial larceny. The charge stems from an investigation revealing that Henry allegedly possessed agricultural livestock and produce without a certificate of receipt. The specific item in question is a black bull cattle valued at $5,000 EC, owned by a 55-year-old butcher from Anna's Vale. The offense was committed in Argyll between July 16th and July 20th, 2024. Henry appeared before the Kaliakwa Magistrate Court on August 5th, where he pleaded not guilty. He was granted bail set at 2,000 AC dollars with one surety. The case was adjourned to August 9th, 2024. Still on the local scene, earlier today, just under 100 students who passed the CPEA exams received scholarships and bursaries from the Royal St. Vincent and the Grenadines Police Force, the SVG Police Cooperative Credit Union, and the SVG Ex-Police Association. The scholarships and bursaries were awarded during a ceremony at the Kingston Baptist Church, which was held under the theme Preparing Our Youths Today for Leadership Tomorrow and Beyond. In giving remarks during today's ceremony, Senior Education Officer Miss Elspeth Adams conveyed her appreciation for the awarding of the bursaries and scholarships. She said that they are more than just financial support, stating that they represent a beacon of hope and a tangible investment in the youth of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Vice President of the PCCU, Mrs. Kathleen Nanton Davis, in her remarks, said that the organization is honored to be part of the venture. She said this is not just part of the PCCU's community initiative, but noted that it is viewed as something that is absolutely necessary. She encouraged the students receiving the scholarships and bursaries to stay focused and not to shy away from asking for help on their academic journeys. Commissioner of Police Anvil Williams, in congratulating the students, noted that the Police Scholarship Fund is one of the oldest and largest funds of its kind in SVG, commencing in 1958. He also noted that while most scholarships of this nature end when the recipient graduates from secondary school, he said that the police scholarship covers the student's 2-year tenure at the St. Vincent and the Grenadines Community College. Commissioner Williams, as he emphasized the importance of investing in the future of the nation's youth, made an appeal to recipients of the police scholarships as well as other scholarships to make the most of the support given to them. On to news in the region. Former Premier of the British Virgin Islands, the BVI, Andrew Alturofoy, has been sentenced to over 11 years in prison for cocaine trafficking and money laundering. U.S. District Judge Kathleen M. Williams handed down the 135-month sentence after Foy was convicted of facilitating the transport of Colombian cocaine through BVI ports to Miami in exchange for millions of dollars. Foy's co-conspirators, BVI Ports Authority's Olivine Pickering Maynard and her son, Kadim Stefan Maynard, were also involved in the scheme and received prison sentences of 112 months and 57 months, respectively. Despite testimonials from Foy's family and the community highlighting his positive contributions, evidence at trial showed his involvement in a plan to smuggle large quantities of cocaine, leading to his arrest in April 2022. A Queens, New York woman, Wendella Sanderson Wells, has been indicted for allegedly defrauding 10 Caribbean nationals out of $73,000 by falsely promising to improve their immigration status. Wells, 54, was arraigned on a 44-count indictment, including charges of fraud, grand larceny, and practicing law without a license. Posing as an attorney, Wells allegedly targeted nationals from Guyana, Jamaica, and Haiti, collecting exorbitant fees for unfulfilled services. An investigation led to her arrest and the seizure of $425,000 in cash. Wells, placed on unsupervised release, is due back in court on November 1st. Authorities emphasize the gravity of her exploitation of vulnerable immigrants pursuing the American dream. Finally, on the international scene, Nobel laureate Muhammad Yunus has been named Bangladesh's interim leader following the resignation and flight of Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina amidst deadly protests. Yunus, 84, a pioneer in microloans, is currently appealing a politically motivated 6-month jail term. His appointment came after student-led protests rejected a military-led government. While Professor Yunus has been lauded for his pioneering use of microloans, Ms. Hasina regarded him as a public enemy. He is currently on bail, appealing against a 6-month jail term in what he has called a politically motivated case. The protests, which began over civil service job quotas, evolved into a broader anti-government movement, resulting in over 400 deaths. Former Prime Minister Khaleda Zia and activist Ahmad bin Qasim were released following Hasina's departure. International leaders have called for democratic principles to be upheld during this transition. This has been WEFM's 3 p.m. News. I have been your presenter, Rajiv Providence. Join us again at 5:30 for WEFM's Evening News, and we thank you for listening.